Hello, this is not a spring chicken. And the big news today, of course, President Obama goes to the UK and tells them that all Americans are entitled to, what was that? Oh, a nice retirement and health care. I wonder if that has anything to do with the computer-generated code name for President Obama, otherwise known as Smart Alec in the UK. Meanwhile, we're going to bring Oldecam on with comments on the headlines of today.
See, it's a left-handed, this is a left-handed device.
No, that's only if you're pointing it at somebody. If you're looking at it...
I know, but generally you're pointing it at people.
Oh, you are? I thought you were generally looking at it.
Because you're doing this because you're wanting people to see it, see?
Oh.
Okay.
And Netanyahu undoes Obama bringing peace to the Middle East.
That's what you're hearing from the mainstream press, that peace was within grasp of the Middle East, and Netanyahu is refusing to bend on giving Israel and Jerusalem to the Muslims in return for the Israeli state being destroyed and not being recognized. Brilliant, isn't it?
And Obama codenamed Smart Alec in Britain.
Yes, it's like basically it's what's the word they give them means smart aleck, and they said the computer picked it at random, but the computer, from what information you have, they don't like Obama in England. They don't like Obama in most of Europe. I mean, the leaders don't like him because this guy simply can't get it through his head. You have to stop spending. He goes over there this morning, gives a speech that all of them, where they're talking about the unions are throwing fits about everything being, pensions being cut back, entitlements being cut back, because there's no money. And so Obama goes over there to support the union movement against the British government, tells them we support the British government and its people, and then tells them that the United States believes that all Americans are entitled to health care and entitled to Social Security. Of course, I love how they intend to pay for it. They intend to pay for Medicare by having the wealthy pick up all the cost of Medicare. That's the Democrats' idea of saving Medicare, is to have the wealthy pay for all of it.
I wonder if that has anything to do with his computer-generated code name in Britain of Smart Alec.
Well, probably. If we've only said this 4 times so far.
I know.
Live.
Well, because I think it's funny.
Well,
And in line of violent thunderstorms killed 7 in Oklahoma and Kansas.
It's actually 12 now and growing. Okay. They said, well, this is the most dangerous season since in 60 years. I know. I'm old. I have relatives in that area. 60 years ago, cities were wiped out. Small cities that never were rebuilt were wiped out in the tornado belt.
Oh, really?
So this is nothing. It's happened before. It will happen again. If you build a city or a housing development in an area that you know is going to be flooded, you're likely to get flooded. If you build it in an area that you're likely to have earthquakes, you're likely to have earthquakes. If you build an area in a tornado belt, guess what's going to happen sooner or later?
And Obama continues to, try to undo damage he's done to our country tour?
Oh yeah, that's his latest tour. Basically, his latest it was to condemn us to the Muslim world tour, apologize for everything. Now he's not on the apology tour, he's on trying to undo his apology tour now. Because the fact that the United States is falling, he is listed as the most piss-poor leader this nation has had since Jimmy Carter, and they said he's achieving Jimmy Carter status, because they don't trust him. This guy would basically throw you under the bus in a second.
Well, actually, that's hard to do with international when they don't trust you at all.
I know it. They have no trust in him. His ratings in the Muslim world are 11% under the favorability of George Bush.
Ooh.
And this is the outreach person to the Muslim world.
Ooh. And DNA evidence said to link ex-IMF leader to the maid.
Okay, this is Obama moment. DNA evidence doesn't exist. The press came out with that, the grand announcement that Obama's people, it was basically from an unknown source, let everybody in the mainstream press know that the DNA evidence was there. Well, the people over that weren't in the mainstream press actually went to the police department. Their problem is they don't have any evidence, and there's now a he says, she says.
Ooh.
And they certainly can't win a he says, she says.
And Democrat scores upset win in New York special election.
Oh, Democrats are spinning it. Okay, this morning, Bill Clinton unspun it on them.
What do you
He
mean?
basically, the Democrats, this was the end of the Republican Party because they want to destroy, to put your grandmother off the cliff. No, the Democrats ran two candidates. They registered one of the candidates as a Tea Party member. The Tea Party member spent more money on negative ads against the Republican than the Democrats did. Well, the guy's he's a vivid supporter of Acorn. He's on their board of directors and has ran for that seat 3 times and lost. But they got him. The state of New York Supreme Court ruled that he could run as any party he wanted to run for if he had enough signatures.
Oh, really?
So he ran as a Tea Party candidate. He siphoned off so many votes for the Republicans. She still almost won the election with this guy siphoning votes off. So Clinton told him this morning, don't believe that this is a referendum on doing nothing. Because he said that's not what this election was about. He said this election was about that you outspent the opposition.
And volcanic cloud heads to Scotland, flights canceled.
Yeah, and there'd be British Airlines just throwing a fit, Well, we're losing money. Nobody's crashing. Yeah, we're losing money.
4th graders discover 11,500-year-old mastodon hair.
I took my little one into Arizona and we discovered 100-million-year-old fossil. What's the big deal? They found a mastodon hair. Mine was about this tall. She found she found a scorpion, about like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know.
And J.P. Morgan Chase CEO warns of U.S. defaulting.
Yeah, they don't understand it. Okay, here's the bad part about it, is that some of the Republican people that have actually ran businesses have ran the figures, and they say that we're going to believe everything the President of the United States is telling us is gospel. This economy has turned around. We're doing so much better. Well, if we're doing so much better than we were before, the money is just rolling in in order to to do this and do that. So we don't need to raise the debt ceiling because Obama has done such a good job turning the economy around that we can sustain not doing the debt ceiling because of our president and his great things he's done for our country. And they are basically not buying that, the Democrats. They're actually going to say it's not that way.
Mm-hmm. And Obama and jubilant Ireland, I've come home.
Oh, Christ. I'm going to try to explain something to begin with. First of all, they said, well, he's a black man. How can he have Irish? Anybody remember Franco Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers? One of his relatives was white and Irish, the same way as one of Obama's was. Except I think Franco Harris looked a little bit more like an Irishman than did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and it was Franco O'Hara.
Well, there's also black Irish anyway.
I know, that's what he was a black Irishman. There are lots of black Irishmen, folks.
Although the Irish on Obama's side was not black. It was probably from his mom's side, right?
It's from his mother's side, but Harris's was black, and she wasn't the family was not servants, they were business people in Ireland.
And Casey Anthony defense says Kaylee drowned in the pool.
Okay, basically because, it works this way. They know she's going to get convicted because Fox News is doing everything they can. I know she's guilty. I'm going to tell you, if my father was alive today, my father would have debunked the evidence like he did in the O.J. Simpson trial, where the very fact was, a year and a half after they searched an area, they found a body wrapped up in a bag.
Yeah.
A year and a half after that area had been surfaced, within plain sight of the road, they found a body. Isn't that amazing? Wrapped in exactly the same things they said they found fibers from in the back of the woman's car.
Is that really?
Well, they said it was a body.
Oh.
But they've already interned the body because it was the proper thing to do. Basically, they didn't like Anthony because she was a smart ass. So they intended to convict her just like they did the woman that owned all the housing in New York City for income tax evasion. Then she raised the rents on everybody in the city for what they did to her.
I bet she did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And dentists hesitate to treat kids on Medicaid study.
No money. They're not getting. These people are not getting. They know that what's coming out of Congress, no matter what, is that Congress are not going to pass the reimbursement thing to balance out what they're spending versus what they're being able to get. And it's not going to happen this time. So there's going to be a $200 billion endorsement is gonna go. They're not gonna treat patients, and Obama can't make them. The British could not make doctors take patients in England,
Oh, really?
because it's a democracy.
And a Monty Bubbleism from the Mark Twain of the Animal Kingdom.
Okay, the sad part about things in this world that you seldom get what you want, but you always tend to get what you need.